Greetings, comrades. Ground Up News, an online publication, sent questions to political parties to get their opinions on ZEP holders and other migration-related issues. This is the first part of our video as we follow or as we discuss what Ground News sent to political parties their response. The article was published on the 3rd of April 2024. So the first question that they asked the political party says, does your party support continued extensions of the Zimbabwe exemption permits? According to Ground News, these questions were emailed to these political parties. The ANC did not respond to this question, but the Democratic Alliance DA did respond. Its response says, I quote, the DA in government would introduce the following special dispensation with regard to our closest neighbors. Allow ZEP holders, approximately 180,000 Zimbabwe nationals, to apply for an alternative visa for which they qualify, including permanent residence for ZEP holders of more than 5 years. Allow visa-free entry, allowing travel, study, and a trade or establishment of a business to all citizens of Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, and Namibia, with a path to permanent residence for postgraduates, those qualifying under the points system, and for those whose business has survived after 5 years. Initially, this will not include the right to seek work, and separate work provisions will still govern the ability to work. After 3 years of the rollout of this special dispensation program, review the evidence and consider setting out a clear plan with timelines for integrating Zimbabwe and the rest of SADC into the special dispensation. The special dispensation program should form part of South Africa's custom roadmap to the progressive realization of the African Union Protocol by building implementation experience in the region, close quote. That's the response from the Democratic Alliance. Then the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, did not respond to the question. Then the IFP, Inkatha Freedom Party, responded in the following manner, I quote, the IFP has supported the minister throughout this process, focusing on concluding the current permit exemption system and arguing Zimbabweans to regularize their stay in South Africa by applying for appropriate visas. Regarding the future of Zimbabweans in South Africa post-permit expiry, the expectation is clear. They should ideally return to their homeland unless they successfully apply for and obtain alternative visa categories that allow them to stay. This directive applies broadly, including to children of Zimbabwean parents born and raised in South Africa, who are also expected to return should their parents do so, barring qualification for other visas. That is the IFP. Then Freedom Plus, FF Plus, responded in the following manner. I quote, asked what should happen to Zimbabweans in South Africa once their permits expire. The EFF Plus responded, the holders of these permits should be allowed to apply for alternative visas, and in the case of permit holders who have been in South Africa for more than 5 years, they should be able to apply for permanent residence. Asked what about the children of Zimbabwean parents born in South Africa who have grown up here, the FF Plus responded, they should be allowed to apply for permanent residence. That's the view of the FF Plus. Then Action South Africa responded in the following manner, I quote, ActionSA has expressed the concern about the extension of the permit and referred to their statement released in 2022, which provides broader insight on the matter. Essentially, ActionSA is opposed to the ZEP, stating the extension of the ZEP was a mockery of our constitutional democracy. That's the view of the ActionSA. And then PA, which is Patriotic Alliance, responded in the following. This government, unforgivably, put itself and all of us in a very difficult situation with these permits years ago. They now realize they had no business doing it, but it's very difficult to turn back the clock. They are trying to convince voters that they have suddenly become tough on illegal immigration, but we don't think people are buying it. We do not support the continued extensions of the permit. Whoever has been given these permits must be processed properly by the system, and if that means they need to go home, then so be it. Asked what should happen to Zimbabweans in South Africa once their permits expire, the PA responded, they need to be processed to determine if they should stay here or go home. We believe that the majority will not meet the criteria to stay. They will not meet the criteria to stay. That is the view of the PA. And then the PA was also asked about the children of Zimbabwean parents born in South Africa who have grown up here. The PA responded, what about them? We would not want to separate families. They should go home too, right? And then in MK Party, that is Umkhonto weSizwe Party, did not respond to questions. Rise Mzansi responded in the following manner. Rise Mzansi believes that South Africa's immigration system is broken and needs comprehensive reform. The challenge of the ZEP is one big symptom of the wider problem. We appreciate that holders of the Zimbabwe exemption permit have built lives in South Africa, including raising children in the country. It would be inhuman to expel them. It is also untenable to leave them in legal limbo. ZEP holders without criminal records should be enabled to apply for permanent residence to regularize the fact that they are now long-term residents in South Africa. This regularization must be coupled with wider immigration reforms to manage regional migration. These include better management of our borders and ports of entry, engaging with the neighboring countries on migration to prevent irregular migration into South Africa, fixing the asylum seeker management system to resolve the multi-year backlog in asylum decisions, and stop its use as channel for economic migrants, and increasing immigration enforcement of industry so that migrants without legitimate visas authorizing work find it difficult or impossible to work in South Africa, reducing pull factors. That's the view of the Rise Mzansi. So these are the views of some of the political parties that responded to the questions that were sent by Ground Up News as we head to the 2024 elections on the 29th of May 2024. In the second video, we're going to discuss the other questions that were posted. So this is part 1. Part 2 is coming. Please like this video, subscribe this YouTube channel. If you're on TikTok, please do follow us. Otherwise, goodbye.